Very good. All right.
All right, I make a motion to commence the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
I have not seen an updated copy of the previous meeting.
Right, there's going to be some discussion on the minutes.
Okay,
There's some input after the draft was done, so we'll save that for later, but we will review it.
okay.
All right, so we're ready to go. So good afternoon. This is the Rockland Soil Commission meeting of June 25th, 2020 at 4:20 p.m. This is a remote teleconference recorded for public playback on WRPS, your local cable access TV, www.wrpsrockland.com. Welcome everybody to this meeting. First on the agenda, we have 0 Pond Street. And I believe we have 2 in attendance, Ernesto Caparata and Rick Lincoln. Are you both here?
Yes, hello, everyone.
I guess, do you have anything you'd like to say, Ernesto, to start?
Certainly, yeah, we'll appreciate the opportunity to have this virtual meeting. And we're hoping to be able to come to an agreement on hookup and fees and see if we can move forward.
Okay,
By the way, just for the record, the 0 Pond Street, it's now the formalized street address is 7579 Pond Street.
Thank you for that information. I wasn't aware of that.
Welcome.
How about Rick Lincoln? Do you have anything that you want to?
Hi, no, just maybe a quick update. You know, we've been in front of Zoning Board of Appeals and the site plan has changed slightly, building configurations, but the bedroom count and, you know, everything we'd be concerned with here is everything stayed the same. So we're just presently trying to polish up engineering and finalize grading and stuff like that. But we're ready to go with trying to get a sewer agreement together.
So let me ask this, is the project still the same with 236 units?
It is.
I'm sorry, yes, 236. And we figured that out to be 355 bedrooms?
I think that's still correct.
I know Chuck Kesher, one of the commissioners, has some things that he wants to talk about with this project.
Well, I just want to make sure that Walter, Ronnie, you have both reviewed the prints, physically reviewed the prints.
yes,
Yes.
And you saw them, when was the last time you saw them?
oh, a few months ago.
Right? Are you aware of anything with the elevation?
Nope,
You guys know that they're raising this site, a 29-acre site, 13 feet in elevation. John, are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what I'm going to say, and I know there's some animosity towards me, and I want to hopefully we put this by the board and do it in a reasonable manner. That I'm going on record to state that there is no one on this board, currently on this board, including the superintendent and the current members, that really have the technical expertise to opine on this site as is, given the condition of our facility and with a sewer update out on use. Now, the town engineer, Pat Brennan, sent a memo to the zoning board stating that he wanted something and basically saying documentation of adequate sewer capacity. I want to say for the record that I think if we approve it at this meeting, we're making a major, major mistake, not only to this board, but to the citizens of Rockland. We have an opportunity right now of getting an outside opinion at no cost to this department to opine on A, is this a viable engineering configuration for sewer? And B, do we have the Now, this would give us two good baselines. One, and I'm not saying, Rick or Ernesto, that I'm against this right now. I'm keeping an open mind. My goal is to make sure that I'm not shortchanging, or this board is shortchanging the citizens of Rockland. If we have an outside opinion, he could look at the engineering drawings, and that also gives us, the sewer department, a second opinion on this site-wide, this comprehensive site study to compare it to. So I say we make the most of this. Unfortunately, it's at the cost to the project developers. But the main reason I wanted to point out how this is going to be a very contentious issue is they are raising that site 13 feet. That's 29 acres coming up 13 feet. That in itself may not be a problem, but think of the imposition it is to the traffic and to the people that live in that neighborhood. Do you have any idea how many tractor trailer loads, how many long flatbeds that's going to be? We have the luxury of time. We do not have to vote tonight. I also sent along the governor's order that until the state of emergency, we have till 45 days after the state of emergency is lifted to make a judgment. I say we use that. I say we get an outside opinion, we have Pat Brennan, or we contract to another firm, which to me, I think it'd be great. Takes the town out of it, gives us a total unbiased opinion on how this facility is capacity-wise. Now remember, this month, again, we just went through a record drought, both from October till March, and we're still in that drought. We had no snow, no rain. So these numbers in our month-end reports are skewed. And right now, we're at 3. Even if you take that out, we're at 2.5. That is above our permit. We owe the town that much to make sure this is a major, major project. It's going to have a huge impact on town. Now, I'm going to take my opinion out of it as a taxpayer. I'm just looking at it technically and what the board is facing. To me, if we say, yep, let's go ahead, without getting that second opinion, engineering opinion, we are negligent. We are just absolutely not doing our job. We have the opportunity. The sewer ordinance gives us that, and the state regulations gives us that opportunity. That's all I have to say right now.
John, can I just say one thing? This is Rick.
Go ahead, Rick.
Nobody's had the benefit of seeing the latest plans, which are probably over the last 30 days. That site, the main site up there where the buildings are now averages about 8 feet of fill. And then the road coming in is probably from maybe 2 feet of fill up by Pond Street, climbing up to that 8 feet. There may be 9 or 10 feet on the perimeter where there's some retaining walls are and the site drops off. But the main site averages about 8 feet of fill.
Okay, that's changed since last week.
It has, right. But some of those numbers people kept talking about, they saw the highest fill level and then the whole conversation stayed at that fill level. But those are on some extreme corners. It's not the...
Right, and Rick, I'm not begrudging you that, but the fact remains is, in all honesty, we had none of these guys on the board have seen the current prints, the current ones, correct?
Correct.
We have the guys, listen to what he said. We just haven't seen the current prints. We can't opine on that. We have to review it. And I say, while we're reviewing it, we'd be crazy to pass up on a free engineering review and to give us more data down the road. So I'm making a motion that we table this vote until we get an outside opinion from an outside engineer, be it the town engineer, or we can request a quote, Hoyle and Tanner, anyone you want. But we're passing up free engineering.
What is their engineering review going to do for us?
If I could,
Whether we have adequate sewer capacity.
You're talking about a planning board engineer.
I'm not
What
talking.
is his expertise with the sewer department?
We're not talking.
Why don't we ask the operator who operates the plant if we have capacity?
John, I think before he opines on that, he better get a legal opinion from his counsel.
Okay.
Because if
John,
he opines yes, and this decision comes down the road when we're done with this study, that no, we do not, they're liable, because they told us to go. I'm not saying vote no on this project. I'm saying table it. We have the opportunity, right in the regulations, to get a free engineering assessment on do we have adequate sewer capacity? No, not a planning guy. This is an engineering opinion. Pick whatever engineering firm you want.
And how long is that going to take now?
It probably will not take 6 months. They're not doing an assessment on the whole facility. They're going to look at data. I bet you we'll get it in 6 weeks.
Well, my personal opinion is I think we've delayed these people long enough.
Well, I don't think we've delayed them enough. I mean, think of what you're voting, Ronnie. Think of what you're doing. What is your reason, aside from delaying these guys? What is your reason? Go on record and give us a sound reason.
Income for the town and for the sewer department.
Ronnie, for 16 years, you didn't care about that because you did not raise the funds. So that is a moot issue. That does not even weigh in the equation. So don't fall back on that. Now, what is your technical reason for saying go ahead?
And
Because
that's
what we're dealing with is a technical reason. Do we have adequate sewer capacity? Do you have the technical background to say yes or no? I've got 40 years of engineering experience and I don't have that background. That's not my expertise. Do you have that?
I don't
On
believe
the
any of us have that. No.
Walter, do you have that?
No.
Okay, I'm making a motion. We get an outside engineering firm at no cost to the department to opine on this matter.
And who
Do I
pays
have a
for
second
that?
on that?
Who pays for that?
The contractor, the developer has to pay for that. It does not come out of our funds.
May I ask a question? Later on the agenda, there's a part of it about fee increases. If you put them off, then they're going to be under the new fee increase.
No, they will not be under the new, we will make the motion now. They're grandfathered in at the old fee. The fees are not the issue.
Okay,
My issue, John, is does this place have the capacity? I do not want to make a hasty vote and find out, no, we do not, that we are at max. We have an opportunity now to get a baseline to judge this right Pierce decision on it. I'm not trying to delay them. I'm trying to make the smart, the correct move. They can have the old fees. I'll concede that. But I want to make sure we are not making a mistake that could be fatal. Now, again, I want to make the motion. Beth,
John, if I could,
we get a second opinion on the engineering capacity of the firm, and we grandfather them in at the old fees.
John, if I could ask a question.
go ahead.
Thank you. Now, I believe that the Rockland Sewer Commission had an engineer firm. It was a Suez that was working last time we met. They were looking, they were evaluating the capacity.
They're the operating firm. They're charged with operating the facility, nothing to do with new developments. If they opine, they're at their own risk, and I think they should get legal opinion before they do that.
So at the time, last time we met, you did not have any reservations percent for it?
No, I do not. Well, I do
Into
not.
capacity?
Go ahead, say that again, Ernesto.
I said, last time we met, last year, at the time we met, you had no reservations
Oh,
pertaining.
yes, I did. If you remembered, I did.
And so nothing has been done with my understanding at the time was Suez was going to look into it and see whether or not it was an issue.
No, Suez said they're given the current numbers, but what I'm asking him now to do is go on the record and have Suez tell us, yes, we have the capacity. And for them to make an opinion like that, they need to talk to their counsel.
Okay.
Because Rick does not have the authority to do that.
So Suez, when you say Suez give you the numbers, what those numbers indicate? That there is capacity?
No, right now we are over capacity. Excuse me, Ed. What was our number for the May?
Monthly flow for May was 3.071.
Our design capacity is 2.5.
Okay, what is the rolling average, Ed?
Current moving average is 2.547.
We are over capacity. That's why I'm saying get an outside opinion.
What is the June to date? You have that number?
To date, June is 2.027.
John, we're in the middle of a drought. Don't do that. Go by your averages.
Which I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get all the numbers out there.
Yep.
Why don't we ask Mass DEP what the overage is?
Mary, you gotta identify yourself. This is a committee discussion right now.
Mary Parsons, Rockland. I'm going to be one of the
Mary,
residents living
Mary.
with the sewer department.
You haven't been advertised yet. You haven't been recognized yet. This is a commission discussion. Mass DEP will not opine and tell us to do one thing or another. If we go to Mass DEP and say that with our average over 2.5, come on. We're already under an administrative order.
What is it? What is the check that you're looking for the engineering firm to do?
Tell us we have the capacity to add 40,000 gallons more a day. If you don't take up on that,
Oh,
the town's going to have an upward. They already know it's out there that they're facing a $60 million potential upgrade. We do this without doing our homework, they're going to lynch you. I'm making a motion one more time that we grandfather this development in at the current pricing, the fees. We contract with an outside engineering firm to give us an opinion, looking at all the data we supplied, of whether we have the capacity right now to take this project on. Now, if we do, you may be risking, if you remember what Jennifer said, what's her name, Constable,
Constable.
at the October meeting, she said there's 3 more 40B projects coming. 2 of them are uptown. We got some serious decisions to make. We got to find out where we are. Now, this decision from Wright Pierce is going to be 7 months out. These guys want to know now. I don't think waiting, they haven't even got the approval from the planning board yet or anyone else. We start tomorrow. Let's get some quotes on engineering fees. I don't think we should go with Wright Pierce. We could use this as a baseline. Now, the motion's out there. I'm not going to waste my wind. You don't want to do it, Ronnie Walter. Go on record, say you don't want to do it. I'm making a motion. Do I have a second on it?
John,
It's not
Hey,
my-
John has
it's
no
not my
say.
vote. It's not my-
Walter.
it's not
you
my
have
vote.
any opinion?
I don't think it's unreasonable.
No. I'll go along with, I'll make a motion, or I'll go
I made
along.
the motion. All you got to do is second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Ronnie,
I just sent.
and what is your reason?
I just sent.
What is your reason?
Wrong quote.
Okay. So it passes 2-1, Walter?
Yes.
Do you have, so we should have a time frame, maybe?
I will start getting quotes if you want to give me some firms that you recommend, or I'll just put it out there for general bid. Okay, real fast and dirty. I'll advertise it.
Yeah, I guess you have to define the scope of what we're actually looking
Okay,
at.
I'll draw up the scope over the weekend. I'll send it out for review. You guys approve it, and I'll send it out. Is that okay? Walter?
Yes.
Warani?
Yep.
Okay, I'll try to get it done by Monday. Wait a minute, yeah, I can try to get it done by Monday. I can't promise. Guys, one thing for the record, or Rick, Ernesto, I'm not by any chance shortchanging you, and I don't mean to come across like that. We have some other issues regarding this facility, and I'd rather be safe than sorry.
We've been waiting from September last year.
Pardon me?
We've been
And I
waiting
have-
since September last year.
Yes, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And through no fault of
I
ours.
mean, so you reckon I will talk, but my advice to Rick will be to pursue the private sewer treatment plan, So,
Anybody in the public have anything to say? Mary?
Yes, like I said, I think it's a good thing to get an independent engineer to go over this, especially when you're having fill, apartments being built on fill. And that
I think they have to
this
separate people.
area also has wetlands, so you don't want to be filling in wetlands either.
Mary?
Talking about
you
flood
don't
capacity.
have him-
if I,
It's not-
John, if I could clarify that, so the fill will be placed just in an area, probably 5 acres of the entire site. Of course, no fill will be placed in the wetlands or in area of the uplands that's at the rear about in Turner's Road. There's no fill proposed in those areas at all. So of the entire 29 acres, probably about 5 acres, 5.5 acres, somewhere around there, will have fill.
But just to clarify, we are not going to have this engineer do anything on the fill. That's not his charge. He's going
Exactly.
to only look at sewer capacity.
Exactly. We're not looking at conservation. We're not looking at elevations. We're not looking only if it affects sewer.
Strictly sewer.
Correct, so I understand why it was brought up.
Hey, John, this is Rick. I apologize. I appreciate your time and everything, but I don't mean to be, I need to scoot to another meeting real quick. Obviously I didn't want to miss this meeting. So hopefully we can get some bids quick and keep the process moving.
All right. Thank you for your time, Rick and Ernesto.
All right. Thanks, guys. Sorry for
Rick,
the,
Thank you.
Rick, I'll go as fast as I can on this other one.
okay. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks again for coming in. Next on the agenda, Jim Cranston representing the developer for Wendy's.
Good evening. Thanks, everybody. Just want to give a brief intro on this project. We went before the planning board and Concom back in late 2018, early 2019. We got our approvals. I was not involved in the project at the time. That was being handled by a different project manager. We received our building permit in fall of 2019. Found out actually during construction that we needed to go before you. So I do apologize. It's a project that I took on from someone else who is no longer with the firm. So they have started construction. I was in touch with John, and John was super helpful and flexible in letting our client move forward with construction, but not making the actual, connecting the two pipes, the physical connection to the public sewer. So we're here before you to obtain approval for the flow rates and the fees that were calculated. And I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
And so during this time, this actually came up, so everybody will know, in March. And as Jim said, the building department signed off on this well before that. Was never brought to the attention of the sewer department, or of course we would have told them to come before us. They're not looking for a lot of gallons. They're looking for, there's 40 seats in the restaurant using Title V. It's 20 gallons per day per seat, which calculates out to be 800 gallons of sewer per day. Again, it's commercial property. There's a tax base to help the tax base with the commercial property. During construction, Dave Taylor was out every day looking at it. Again, as you see the site now, there's no building there. So all there is there's some pipe work done that was done at their own peril.
800 gallons a day, and with it being commercial, I see no problem with this.
How about any other commissioners with the 800? Then I'll go over the fee structure.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor also.
Okay, so with the 800 gallons per day at $20 per gallon for a commercial property, that's $16,000. The remediation fee would be 800 gallons times $10, that's $8,000, for a total of $26,000, $24,000, excuse my Brockton high math. $24,000. The permit fee has already been paid.
I make a motion, we accept it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
So Jim, if you could tell your client, so that's an approval by the board, you tell your client that those fees are due prior to construction.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in, Jim.
Take care.
All right. Next on the agenda is the sewer system evaluation survey. Last meeting I brought it up and everybody got the handout on it. All we were waiting for was approval because there was no money at that time. At the town meeting this week, the money was appropriated for $300 for this survey. We did not take a vote on it last time because there was the money was not appropriated. The money is now appropriated.
Will you ask him how much the money was again?
John,
Yes,
how much money was that?
300,000.
300,000.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to,
Before you do that, when are they gonna be starting this work? It's gonna be done in the fall and winter, correct?
That's what we're hoping. And you want to do it during high flows. So the fall would be, there's no contract signed with them yet, but that's what they told me they could start in October time frame.
Okay, just curiosity now, what happens if we go through a winter or fall like last year, bone dry? Do we delay it to the spring?
I don't have the answer for that. Well, the fall last year wasn't really very bone dry, was it?
Yeah, we got nothing. Didn't really get anything until I think we got a 4-inch storm in mid-January, and that was it. I mean, we're down about 5 inches now, I think they're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious. So
I'm not sure on the logistics, Chuck.
No, I'm not either.
But this is how we're gonna find our leaks, recommendations to repair, so we'll be able to have sewer capacity going forward.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if it's a dry, is that going to affect how the test is done? I mean, can we?
No, if it's dry, we certainly wouldn't be doing it if it's dry weather.
All right, but is this
Usually dry, rather.
okay, with the company that you've contracted to, will they hold that price?
Again, we'd have to have that in writing.
Have you selected someone yet?
We've selected AECom for the whole thing, and they'll subcontract the field work.
Do you think you could get something from them just in writing to say, should, with the caveat, should it be an exceptionally dry fall, winter period, that the price will hold till the spring or till we start it?
I think once we sign the contract documents, they're going to be held to it anyways.
Okay.
So, again, to refresh my memory, I don't believe that we approved it for the $300,000. I just gave you an overview of it last meeting. I sent you out the attachments. So now I'm looking for the vote to spend, their price was $290,000.
Make a motion that we accept the bid by AECom for the SSES study for $290,000.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
Right.
That's the vote. So the next is an update on the comprehensive study. Chuck wanted this one in there. Again, it was the same thing. We had to get town meeting approval to get the additional funding.
Did we get it?
Yes, we did.
Okay. With that said, I spoke to Kevin Olson from Wright Pierce, contacted me. They've sent a draft contract out. The terms are just boilerplate. I picked apart and made some comments. He's going to redo it. that I wanted some key things in on the scope of work. Once I get that, I will forward it to you guys for your comments. And then Chris Kenny, the town attorney, has got the terms and the contract, but he's going to wait till gets the final engineering rigmarole done. Now for Rick and Ed, they would like to start a kickoff meeting sometime the week of July 16th, if that's appropriate. I'm not sure what date that falls on. I think so. We got to give them it. We can either, and to them, it's at our convenience. If you got people out on vacation, that what he's just going to go over is, okay, to make sure of what we want, introduce himself to your guys, how he's going to meet with them, how they're going to meet with them, yada, yada. So Rick, you're on mute.
That was me, Chuck. I was trying to speak, sorry. That week should be fine. The only thing is on Tuesday, the 14th, we've scheduled the clean out at the Hingham South lift station. So any other day that week should be okay, just not Tuesday.
What I need you guys to do is look at your calendar. This is not around their convenience. This is around your convenience because it's going to suck up. Understand this. This is going to take up an awful lot of time, administrative and day-to-day. So
Right.
There's going to be a lot of stuff to put together. One thing they did give me that they want is they'd like to know what you're going to be doing with the boiler and the digester, things like that. If we have anything on any information we have on the digester that's out of service, anything we have on any work that was done on the clarifier. Was that? So anything of that nature, they're gonna want to see. They haven't given me a date that they want to see that. I'm sure they will. We can wait to the kickoff meeting on that. I don't know unless he wants to really do a homework. I know they're having a team meeting on it. If we give them the green light, of course, they'll want to sign the contract, but they're willing to go without the contract signing. But again, just to stress to you guys, it's going to be a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. It's going to tie up a lot of manpower.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're ready for it. We're looking forward to doing it. I think it's an opportunity, so
Okay.
no problems there with that.
Let's leave it at this. I want you guys to come up with a date you want to start it, when you want that kickoff meeting. Give them 4 days. I wouldn't do a Monday. And for selfish reasons, I wouldn't do a Friday. But if you feel Friday's appropriate, do it. But try not to do it on Monday. You never know what kind of horror shows you're facing over the weekend. But let's give them a set of dates to pick from.
Sure. Rick and I will get together and we'll send some dates out to you and you can forward those on. And
you may want to kick in on, I forget who took John Marston's place. I forget his name.
John Mungie.
Munchin, okay. Include him in, and naturally we're going to have Dave and whoever else wants to sit in on it. But, I think it'll be important to have Munchin there because he has to realize too that it's going to be a lot of time, and quite honestly, there may be a billing issue. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be for them to decide.
Because it's above and beyond the scope of that contract.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
I don't know if they're going to deem it a billing issue, John, billable issue, because it's above and beyond their contract scope. We'll see. I don't know. It may not be because it pertains to the operation, but it's really not the day-to-day operation. So I don't know. We may want to get Chris to ask him. Rick, you may want to ask John Munchin to opine on that.
Yep, I will, Chuck.
I'd rather get all the curveballs out of the way now, because once we start,
Yep.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. I think that week should work, but like Ed said, we'll get together and look at both our schedules. But I think that week of the 13th should work.
Again, it's your convenience, not this.
Yep, appreciate that.
What else did he have on that? Sean, do you want to see the draft contract today or tomorrow? I mean, it's just really boilerplate. The only thing what I think I did not see in there that they added in, I didn't look at the new one that came in today. I asked for how they're going to approach a structural analysis on those clarifiers. More specifically, I want to know what the time impact will be to these guys. How long will it be offline? You know, things of that nature.
So Chuck, if I could just add in, I was just discussing it with the guys today. We're looking at taking off one of the primary clarifiers. Actually, probably gonna start tomorrow with that. And then that tank will probably stay off for maximum, say, 3 weeks or so. But then the plan is to put that tank immediately back online, get the second one offline, cleaned out, and then that second one will hold until the fall when the
Let me ask you a question then. Is there any way you could delay that until August, that we get everything, the contract signed? Because we're not going to get that contract signed in 3 weeks.
Operationally, it needs to be taken offline now. But what we can do is I can get in there. I can take a lot of photographs and even some video and stuff. If Kevin wants to reach out and we can go over, maybe some highlighted, parts of the tank that he's really interested in seeing, we can make sure that we get those.
Let me do this.
As well.
Photographs are nothing compared to a hands-on touchy-feely. Let me see in good faith if he'll come down.
In all honesty, Chuck, I mean, those tanks are identical. So, and then we'll have more discussions down the road as far as the secondary clarifiers, and you're going to run into issues when we start talking about taking the aerators offline too. That's going to be a real issue that I'm not sure if they're going to be able to have access into those tanks, simply because I'm not sure that we're going to be able to have the ability to take them offline and have them empty for them to get in there.
Which is the more corroded? The aerators?
I can't make an opinion on what the aerators look like because we've never had them offline. The valves back there don't function. So
okay, why don't we do this? Rick, you in next week?
I am. Yep.
Why don't I just have Kevin touch base with you, and you guys work out how you want to have him look at it. I'm sure he'll do it in good faith at this point.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
It shouldn't take more than a week or two to get the contract signed, I wouldn't believe. Like, as you said, the boilerplate, there's nothing magical.
John, I think it's pretty much boilerplate. I mean, let me send it to you tonight. I don't think I missed anything in the scope, but I thought they did. Let me send you a copy tonight with my scribblings on it, the one I sent back to them.
Okay.
I'll see if I could, I'll open up theirs. I didn't get a chance to see what the other one is.
if I could just add in, that would probably make it easiest is if we could just get that contract signed within the next 2 weeks. It's a lot easier for us to hold the first tank that we take offline than it is to maintain both tanks online right now. So if we can get that signed and get everything moving within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I think that'll make it easier for everybody involved.
Okay, all I can do is take care of the language. John has to get it signed.
Okay.
That's all I got on it.
Okay, so moving on, the next order,
An awful lot of time on your hands. Please don't forget that.
the next order of business would be approve the new conditions to the 2006 moratorium. There was a handout that Robin has forwarded to everybody. So does everybody have that in front of them?
Let me get it.
John, is it the paperwork that Chuck sent out?
It's the attachment that,
This morning, I sent a copy to
Yep.
Walter and Ronnie as well.
Yeah.
right, that you forwarded to me this afternoon.
I did. But the original was from Walter. If
No,
they,
the original was from Chuck.
in their email, they'll find it from Walter. I mean, no,
You're-
sorry, it's from Chuck. I'm sorry.
The only error I think I missed on that is I think we tabled the 90 bedrooms for later discussion.
Is that why that's in red up top, Chuck?
Yeah, I don't have my, I did put that up top?
Motion, we table the discussion on the conditions until after the number. of
Right,
units.
okay, that's right, okay. I
Well,
think,
we
you know,
can-
where I did that, so we have, yeah, I think what we said was, where we got hung up was, I had put there'll be no more residential permits issued, connection permits that consist of more than 90 bedrooms or contribute in excess of 10,000 gallons per day. So, with the reason being to save excess capacity, reserve capacity for wastewater system upgrade, construction, and new commercial business entities to the town. Again, what I'm thinking of are those 40Bs in those lots in Howard, on Howard Street and Park Street. I think there are plans on the wind for that. And I don't think we want to have vacant lots uptown.
Okay, just to be clear on this though, if you stipulate that 90, that just takes the Pond Street project out.
No, it does not. No,
Okay.
I will, they're a separate, well, I'm willing to deal with them as a separate entity now. That's a huge project. And again, I don't think we're qualified to tap on that one. But that's water under the bridge now. Do you want to take that 90 bedrooms or more out with knowledge that it does not pertain to Zero Pond Street, or leave it in? I would say leave it in. It gives us wiggle room. We can always approve it. But it lets the developers know up front that we have some issues.
Yeah, just as long as it can be stated clearly that there's an exemption,
With the Zero Pond?
right?
Well, then I would say if you guys have no problems with them, these are the ones that verbatim how we exist. Let's leave it in, but with the understanding on public record that this does not, the 90 bedrooms does not pertain to Zero Pond Street.
Sounds reasonable.
I agree.
Walter?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, then I'll make a motion. We accept the proposed additional conditions to the moratorium.
Now, Chuck, before we vote on that, you had mentioned that the 90 can be adjusted up or down?
I mean, if we come up with a project, or we make, say we put this into a moratorium now,
Yeah,
we find some miraculous thing, or Wright Pierce does something to correct and give us excess capacity, we can waive that. Nothing is exempt. We can waive it, but we got to have a good reason to do it. And as long as we put it in writing why we're not, because if we, and again, it's going back to creating the paper trail. We accept the developer, we should be able to write down the reason why and why not. If say we refuse him, then we refuse the next one, we got to have the same reason. Say, okay, we rejected him because, we accepted you because. We have flexibility.
yeah, okay, as long as we have flexibility. Yeah,
Everything's
Good.
open for discussion, as long as we justify it. We have a good, sound, technical reason for exempting someone, there's no problem.
all right, I'm in favor of it.
Walter?
I'm in favor too,
Okay,
as long as it's written the way you just explained to us.
nope, and I'll put it down in the writing. Now, the next one's the fees, John. John,
Right. The proposed increase in fees, I think we're all in agreement.
there's only one thing, John.
Yep.
And I think this is on you. You have to update the sewer ordinance to the $20 per day, gallon per day. You have to write an amendment to that sewer ordinance.
And the only thing, when you change the soil use ordinance, that had to get approved by town meeting. That was approved by town meeting in May of 2011.
Okay, then we've got to, how do we get around that? I'll tell you what, then what we have to do is write an article, leave it at the 10 gallons. We voted to approve the 20. So why don't we just write an article for the next town meeting?
Actually, when you're making the soil use ordinance is approved by EPA. I think we can change these fees the way that we have instruction now. I don't think we have to change it in the soil use ordinance.
You
Soil
don't
use ordinance, when we actually did that, that was more geared to the industrial pretreatment program that we had to do. That's why we had to have town meeting approval. I
Okay.
think we can change the fees on our own.
What about that 20 gallons per day on the fee?
The $20, I think we could do it, voted at this meeting. I think it's fine.
Because it's in the ordinance at 10.
Right.
So you're saying it's okay?
That's what my opinion is, it's okay to change it to 20.
Okay, then I make a motion, we accept the increased fees as is.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so Robin, if you would just make up the same format like we had before, it would work out well.
I will.
Okay, let's see. Approval for fee structure, we hear that. EPA administrative order.
Yeah, I asked to have that put in because reading that order, it's my interpretation from, and again, I've just had past dealings with them, that in that order, it states that if we do not implement a plan by Metcalf and Eddy, we had to do it in writing and notify them. We told them in writing, both the DEP, EPA, and North River Watershed, that we had a, let me see where we're at. We submitted in writing on the 29th of 06. The Rockland Board of Sewer Commissioners voted to impose a sewer construction moratorium effective immediately. The moratorium prohibits connection to any project larger than a two-family residential dwelling. Because of this new moratorium, it is unlikely that there will be a minimal amount, that is likely there will be a minimal amount of proponents seeking to add new connections to the system. Well, we admitted that at the last meeting. We've never enforced it. And a motion was made to drop that, which we couldn't. The other thing we wrote in that report, again, by Metcalf and Eddy, submitted in writing on the same date, was that Rockland is in the process of conducting a comprehensive wastewater management plan and a current wastewater treatment facilities upgrade proposal to the wastewater treatment facilities. We didn't do either, and unless there's a letter written, I think before this new permit comes out and it's picked up, I think we should get a letter on file. If not, I think under section 309 of the EPA's regulation, that report by Metcalf and Eddy was submitted and signed by the town under pains and penalties. And that's covered under false statement. That could be very clearly covered under false statement. So
we had said we were
what
going
you want to do is you may want to pass this off to Chris and look at, but I'm bringing it to your attention. If this comes up when they drop a new permit and someone picks it up in public comment, we are screwed, and we are open to fines.
So we did appropriate money for a comprehensive wastewater management plan. I think we've gone over this before. We did never do it. We spent the money on the digester study and other engineering studies that we felt that we needed at the time. So you're absolutely correct. That wasn't done. But going forward, you're part of it doing the facilities assessment and the source system evaluation survey. Those are both the two steps that you lead up to having the comprehensive wastewater management plan.
I know.
2006, I was a rookie back then.
Okay, but we put it in writing though, John,
It's 13 years ago, Chuck. 13 years ago. I'm not calling them, are you?
What?
It's 13 years ago. Are you gonna call them? I'm not.
No, I'm not saying to call them, John, but they're not dummies. What if they pick it up?
It's 13 years ago, Chuck.
I'd write that letter just to get it on file. If you want to go to Chris, Their fines are nothing to fuck with, John. Oop. Their fines are nothing to mess with. You're talking daily fines in excess of 20 grand. I'd rather, if it's your call, if you don't
It's
want
not
it,
my call. It's not my call.
well, guys, if you don't want to notify the board, the EPA, go on record. I'm asking for your opinion. If we don't and we get picked up on it, the town's out a lot of money.
Okay, so you're
I say
gonna,
we go, huh?
what would you like to do? Write a letter saying that we did not do it, but we're in the
I would
process?
say you better get Chris to opine on it. I say you turn this over and say, if
That's
they
fine.
don't,
That's fine with me.
well, come on, talk about it. I mean, it's in writing that they tell us to do it. We did, okay, we didn't do it, be it 1 year, 2 year, 20 years. They don't care. We didn't do it under that permit.
We're still under that permit. Okay, whatever. You want to spend more money with legal, then go ahead.
You want to spend 20 grand a day on fines if we're wrong?
No.
John, I don't know what to do. It's your call. You signed it.
I didn't sign it.
Sign the Metcalf and Eddie report for Rockland.
We didn't have my signature. I'm not the authority. But we could, if you want to break it down and what we're actually going to respond to them with, then it's
I'm
fine
not
with
gonna
me.
break it down to what we respond to. Have him just opine on it. Should we notify them or not? Simple yes or no.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I think we don't and we ride status quo and somebody picks that up when our new permit is up for public comment, you could have a problem. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying that's what the order says, and that order is still open. If you don't want to do it, it's your call. Ronnie, do you want to notify the attorney or no? Or Walter, talk to me.
No, I don't.
Okay. Just remember what the chances are if we get caught. It's on the record now that we talked about it.
Does anybody else have any further discussion on that?
You do not, okay, so I know you do not want to go on record saying you don't want to notify the attorney. Somebody has to say it. Walter, you're the chair.
What are you putting me in on the hot seat for?
I'm not, you're the
Brought
chair.
it up.
You're the chair. I mean, what do you want to do?
Listen, you're the one that's bringing all this stuff up.
I'm not bringing it up. It's in the order. I'm not saying notify. I'm saying it's written in the order.
The order.
It's written there. Do you want to ignore it or no?
Why don't you talk to Chris Kenny, because I know you talk to him quite frequently, and ask him what it's going to cost to write this opinion.
You guys agree? Okay, let it stand.
Is there anything else, or any other discussion on that?
We're not going to notify council.
No, I said you could.
They have to tell us, John. They have to make an opinion. Say yes or no. That's all they have to say. It's on record. It was on record with the order when it was given, and we did not comply with it. There's no way around that.
So what is the attorney going to do for us? That's what I guess I'm asking.
If he tells us we don't have to let it ride, we let it ride. If he says you better send it, we better send it.
What are you going to send? That's what I'm not.
You got to tell him a letter that's somehow explaining the rationale from the town of why we did not implement those corrective actions.
Okay.
So, Walter, you don't want me to notify him. Ronnie, you don't want to notify him.
Nope.
Okay.
It's been riding for 13 years or whatever, 17 years or whatever.
Yeah.
You know a new permit's coming up.
Well, we've been waiting for new permits since I've been on the board. We still haven't got one.
Okay. I say we notify him, but I'll go by the board. No.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next order of business is the superintendent position advertisement. Chuck wanted that brought up.
No, I just say we get HR getting it out, put it in wherever they advertise it, Monster, whatever. I think with what we come up with, what we're coming up with an upgrade like this, of this magnitude, potential, you're gonna have to get someone with some wastewater background.
Yeah.
Some of this technology is gonna be a lot different than what we're used to dealing with. And they're gonna have to do he's gonna have to railroad the engineering of it. What's the Wes?
Well, I thought last meeting we voted on Dave Taylor for 6 months.
We did, but the sewer commission has the authority. They have to hire, so we have to put out an ad. One way or the other, we have to put out, that's state and town bylaws.
Yeah, we don't have to do it right away.
What are you gonna do? Wait till the last minute, November?
If we have an interim superintendent.
And so when was the last time you interviewed someone? It takes 3 months to find someone.
I never interviewed anybody.
I know, well, that's
All right then.
that's what it takes, at least 3 months to find a viable candidate. Let's get it out now and see, all we're asking for is
Last
to
time
get
it
resumes.
took about 3 weeks
Huh?
before John was voted in. Probably only took about 2 or 3 weeks.
How many applications did you get?
I think we got about 5.
Okay, so I'm not saying we have to hire right now. Let's see what's out there. Don't wait till the last minute. What's the harm? And for the record, for you and Walter, for you and Ronnie, I am not putting in for the job. All right, I hope that makes you happier. I'm just saying, get someone qualified. Let's see who's out there.
Okay, so Stacy does have a job description. I think I don't think it has to go out tomorrow, an advertisement. I think if you had a couple of months, say 3 months to work with it, I think that'd be applicable, enough time. I just don't think right now with the virus still going on and with the summer vacations and all that, I don't think we have to move on this until maybe September.
On the contrary, I disagree. I think there's a lot of people out there nervous about their jobs. There's a lot of, have you seen the unemployment? I think it's a perfect time to, all I'm saying, get it out there. Let's get some applications in and see what kind of talent's out there. There's no harm in that. No one's saying make a decision. You can make a decision whenever the hell you want. But let's see what kind of talent is out there. What's the problem with that?
I kind of agree with John and wait till September, till after summer vacations and
I could say black was the
COVID.
opposite of right and you disagree with me. So you're saying wait till the last minute. And what's your
That's not the
rationale?
last- Chuck,
What's your rationale?
September is not the last minute.
Right, you gotta see, you get the ad out. You're gonna take about 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get resumes in, look them over. You're gonna call some guys in. Then you're gonna check their background, their references. You're talking a 3-month period once you select a group of candidates. You're not gonna hire someone overnight, not for this. What is the harm in putting it out there and seeing what kind of talent's out there? No one's saying hire. Let's get some resumes.
Dave Taylor, interim job, even if it went more than 6 months, if it went 7 or 8 months. But I can't see it being that long.
Okay, so what is the problem?
We need somebody the end of this month.
Say that again?
We need someone by the end of this month when John retires.
Oh, so Dave is here. I am not saying hire him to fill it. What I'm saying is put an ad out there, see what kind of talent is out there. We voted to save Dave for 6 months. If we find someone in 2 months, hire him. If we find someone in 6 months, hire him. If we don't find someone, we extend Dave. I'm saying, let's get the ad out there while the employment market is great. You can find, people are looking for jobs. Let's see who's out there for talent. And I already told you, I will not apply. But when we do get them, it's going to be someone with waste. It has to be somebody with wastewater experience. I have no idea what Dave's is. But you are going to need somebody with serious background. And again, I won't run, but if I had a chance, if I had to hire, it would be, Rick, let me see your opinion on this. I would say get someone with an engineering background. What would you say?
I'm sorry, Chuck, I had on mute.
I'm taking myself out of the running, all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what we got coming up? What would you say? I say they need someone with some form of an engineering background and wastewater background.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Only the being, I mean, right now, with that new upgrade that's going to happen, yeah, it's going to be a lot of work for whoever the superintendent is. That is absolutely for sure. And obviously, being an engineer with the wastewater experience, I mean, you don't really need a lot of that. Ed and I can actually guide the person down that road. But the engineering, I think, is going to be critical because it's a town that's going to have to make a lot of these decisions, not Suez. All I have.
I'd like to make a motion that we get an ad out. Again, not to make a decision, but to see what the response is and what kind of talent is out there. Do I have a second?
Hey, Chuck, can I have a second?
Sure.
Yeah, so I've been doing the job, just filling in for John for the last few months. So, I mean, when I was approached on this, I was a little apprehensive, but John explained to me the role of the job as a manager in procurement. And I know you keep bringing up the fact that we should be, putting that scope out and seeing what's out there. I'll tell you right now, everybody that I'm talking to, anybody that's out there right now isn't probably worthy of the job right now. Anybody that's worthy of the job right now has a job and they're keeping the job. So with everything going on around us, I don't have a problem being interim. It goes to when it goes. You guys put your application out at that point and do that. I mean, it is an interim. I'll be honest, I don't have sewer experience. I have management experience. I have a background in science. So, and I'm willing to learn the job. So, I've been trying to sign up for classes as far as wastewater. Most of the stuff online is not out yet with the COVID going on. Peterson School is off for something in August. I mean, like I told John, I am willing to learn the job. But I mean, I do think, coming from a taxpayer's point of view, and coming from a manager's point of view, this isn't a bad thing.
Dave, I'm not saying it is.
Temporary thing. And it gives you guys to get, if you're looking for, a candidate with an engineering degree, it'll give you guys time to actually pursue that.
And Dave, I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is you have it for 6 months. I'm not challenging that. I'm just saying, let's get out there and see what is out there. Yeah. That's all. If you want to throw your hat in the ring, go for it. I'm sure you're qualified. But let's see what else is out there. And let's look at the other flip side of that. And again, do not take this personal because I don't want to make it personal. It's not. You don't want to have someone come back and say, oh, they didn't advertise because it's a good old boy network. All I'm saying is let's see what kind of talent is out there. Someone from Suez may put in for it. Someone from DEP may put in for it. Someone may get fed up of working with the EPA, DEP. Want to get out of there and get into the private sector. All I'm saying is let's advertise and see what is out there.
Obviously, we're going to advertise. It's just a matter of, I guess the question is, when do you put it out? This was June 30th.
So what's your point? What's the problem?
We,
Give me a problem of putting it out July 1st to see what's out there. Tell me the problem.
A person qualified that we choose may not be available when we're ready for them.
Well, let's find out. We're not saying we're calling them in. All I'm saying is when you get resumes in, all you're doing is judging what the talent pool is. You're looking at what's out there. You're not picking a person. You're going to get probably 10 resumes. Out of that 10, you're probably going to throw 4 of them away, 5 of them away. And not saying a problem, say, let's see what's out there for talent.
why don't we ask the opinion of the HR director?
Well, I'm sure, quite honestly, they're going to say stay in town.
Oh, no, I'm all for advertising. I'm not saying that.
I think they by law have to advertise.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as far as the time frame, Chuck. That's the
Good
only-
ideas. Okay, you know what, let's leave it at that.
And do you have to state the salary range?
No.
And
I think it comes with a ballpark, the job description came with a ballpark salary range. And then I think the caveat was based on experience.
Yeah, based on experience and qualifications, absolutely.
I still think we should wait till September.
Walter?
Yeah,
I think you're cutting yourself short. I say, you know, hiring is HR's job. Let's dump it in their lap. Let them make the call.
let's move on here.
The decision is ours. The advertising and putting it out is theirs. They're the pros. Let them do it.
That's true.
So bring it up to them.
Will do. So next on the agenda is the drain layers license approval.
No, wait a minute. Superintendent position. Okay, go ahead. The superintendent position. Okay, we're putting the ending. We might as well hit the compensation now.
Okay.
First question I had is, where is the funding coming from?
It's coming from the source superintendent's line, the line item that was put into the budget.
When was that line item put in?
Was put into the budget, with the budget was approved at town meeting.
How will what is the compensation? What is we being compensated?
It's the line item is $100,000.
What is the interim superintendent being compensated? It's public record.
Yeah, now you're twisting things around. We
No,
have a
I'm
letter. We have a letter from that Attorney Clifford. He's being compensated $500 a week. Walter, you read that letter that was signed from Attorney Clifford? Or Robin, would you read that?
I could read it.
The compensation is $500 a week. Go ahead and read Attorney Clifford's letter on it.
What was it dated?
It's dated June 23rd. The language was from Clifford's office and it's signed by Walter.
Okay.
A letter addressed to David Taylor, subject appointment letter, Mr. Taylor. I apologize, David, because you haven't seen this yet.
No, I saw a draft of it.
Okay, you have been appointed acting sewer superintendent by vote of the Rockland Sewer Commission effective July 1, 2020. You will perform the duties of sewer superintendent in addition to your duties as highway superintendent for the town of Rockland. As compensation for assuming these duties, you will receive the amount of $500 per week in addition to your regular compensation as highway superintendent. Your vacation and other benefits will not be changed as a result of your additional duties or compensation. Your appointment as acting superintendent shall be effective through December 31, 2020, unless terminated sooner by vote of the Sewer Commission or by written notice from you to the Sewer Commission that you no longer wish to serve as acting sewer superintendent. If you have any questions regarding your wages or benefits, please feel free to contact Stacy Callahan, our Human Resources Director. Sincerely, Walter Simmons, Chairman, Rockland Sewer Commission.
Okay, I have a question. How come this was not brought up to the board? One, when you went out on disability, what his compensation was?
He wasn't getting compensated.
Hold it, I have the floor, John. Why weren't we notified what his compensation was? 2, that it was coming out of the department funds.
Let me clarify something. He hasn't gotten paid yet.
What, for filling in for you, he has not.
He has not gotten paid, no.
Okay, when we took the vote to approve him as interim,
Right.
why didn't you tell us, because you had the conversations with Doug Lapp, that you did not tell us that he was going to be paid $500 a week.
Ask the chairman of the board if he was involved with it.
Walter?
Walter Simmons was involved with the amount of money.
Why didn't you notify the board prior to? For the record, Walter.
But you were notified.
No, we were not, no one was notified of the
The
compensation.
salary did not come up when we voted 2-1 to put him in there. This just
That's right, so you did not disclose all the information.
did not disclose what was that?
All the information on the position. It was an interim position. There was no mention of salary, and there was no mention that it was coming out of our budget,
Whose budget do you think it was going to come out of?
the town's.
The town was not going to pay for a sewer superintendent.
Why didn't you tell us that it was coming out, or tell the people that we're gonna be paying $500 a
You
week?
have something directly to ask it.
I'm asking it. That's all I'm asking is, how come we were not told in public record that he was gonna be paid $500 a week out of the town?
Because that wasn't discussed until after the last meeting.
So why was it voted on before we knew what he was being compensated?
You didn't ask the question at the time. You thought he'd been paid all along. You
Wait a
had the
minute,
correct information.
Okay.
That's why this should have been an executive session,
The vote is no. Salary is a public record.
but not contract negotiations of.
Contract
executive-
negotiations.
Is
are-
executive session.
Right.
Number 2, and look it up again.
Okay, I did look it up. But to me, this should have been public record. That
It
he's
is public record now, isn't it?
It certainly is. But why wasn't a vote made then? That was not full disclosure. You withheld information.
I didn't withhold information as the chairman of the board of sewer commissioners knew what the salary range was gonna be. When the vote was taken for 2-1,
Before the vote?
when the vote was taken 2-1, there was no salary discussed at that time. Between
Okay, so
the
it's
May
coming out-
meeting and the June meeting,
Okay, so it's coming out now at $500 a week. What is he gonna be doing for $500 a week? That's $26,000, $24,000 for the 6 months. What are we getting for $24,000?
it's not to be
We've got
discussed.
major projects coming up in the highway department. We're gonna be going.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, there isn't.
Chuck, if I could, that's, it's not 24. 24 would be for a full year. That'd be half of that.
Okay, what are we getting, Dave? How many, okay, Dave, in all on, well.
No, what I was told is that it's 200, it's 2 hours a day, on call 24 hours a day, and to do the site visits when we need to do the site visits. Pretty much what I've been doing since, I think, John, what was it? End of February, March, when you went out? So whenever that was, and then just to
Well, it
keep,
wasn't coming out of our budget then, Dave.
well, it would be coming out of your sewer superintendent budget, right? Where there's I think there's a line item, if I'm not mistaken, for 100,000. So that would be a considerable amount of savings coming from a taxpayer. $500 a week compared to $2,000 or $2,500 a week. And this is temporary, so.
So in your dealings, you asked the question on whether or not where it's coming from. You were told where it's coming from. It's coming from the sewer superintendent's line item.
And I don't think we're gonna be getting that amount of money. How many times did you have to respond for emergencies, Dave, in this time period?
Emergencies, you mean at night?
Yeah.
We had one.
In 6 months?
No, it hasn't been 6 months. It's only been since like March when John went out.
John went out in November.
He wasn't
Yeah.
covering for me then.
No, I wasn't covering for him. I covered for him from the spring on. So 2 or 3 times, and then just the site visits that we did. I mean, at night, 2 or 3 times at night, and then the site visits. You mean emergency calls, right? Yeah.
And
And then-
Saturdays and Sundays that he's
What
done.
about during the week?
No compensation.
What, during the week?
Yeah.
Just what you guys had open right now. I think it was the Wendy's. Wendy's has been the major one, just to follow up with that. You know, taking pictures and then just checking out the construction that they were doing. That was it. There wasn't anything else opened up.
Let me
Oh,
add
besides
something.
the call this week.
I'm willing to drop it right now,
Yeah.
because I think. never
All
mind.
right, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Drain layers approval list. Robin, do you have drain layers for approval?
Yes, I do. So on the agenda, I had only listed Diaz Construction, but today I received another one from Silverado, so I have two. The first one, Diaz Construction, is a renewal. They've done work in town before. They have all of the correct paperwork and insurance. Silverado Construction, same story. They've done work in town before. They have a pending project, so they applied again. He supplied all of his paperwork today. Both are paid in full.
Okay, make a motion to accept the drain layers licenses.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right,
Thank you very much.
Rick Kachush, you're up. Rick, are you still available?
Sorry about that. I had it on mute.
It's all right.
Good afternoon. I wanted to address a few issues, well, some of the things that Suez and just referring to Chuck's email with the EPA. I just want to let you know, I think I forwarded to you guys, but effective actually June 20th, the US EPA is no longer going to be issuing permits as far as our MPDS permits. It's now back on the Mass DEP. And I actually had a conversation today with Dave. I'm not really sure. It's kind of learning curve for the Mass DEP. What's going to happen with that? I think there's still going to be some involvement with the EPA, but it looks like Mass DEP. I even asked Dave. I says, what do you think about? Because they're talking about new applications and all that stuff. And I said to him, are we starting from the ground up again, where we've already been waiting, for what, 11 years now for our permit? And he said no, he didn't feel it was going to go down that road. He felt that all the paperwork that we currently have in would be suffice to the Mass DEP. So like I said, I'm not sure where this is going to go. I don't think he knows where this is going. One of my questions to him was about staffing. He's always complained, to me, one-on-one, saying, Mass DEP doesn't have the staffing to do this. So I think there's going to be a big shakeup as far as, getting our new MPDS permit. And I'm hoping that this is going to take EPA out of the circle and maybe get that permit quicker than what we anticipate.
Take EPA out of it, that's going to be a plus.
Yes, absolutely, Chuck. Absolutely. So we got this email I think it was last week. It was on June 10th, and they cut them. Basically, I can just real quick. It says the US EPA and Mass DEP have issued MPDS permits jointly. On June 10th, EPA provided Mass DEP with a 10-day notice that they were unilaterally terminating the longstanding joint MPDS permitting agreement between the two agencies. This joint arrangement will end on June 20th, 2020. So that's something that I think we should look forward to in a group.
Wow, that's a bargain.
It is.
The email was June 19th.
Right. Yeah, and okay, is that when I sent it to you, John?
June 19th was the
June 19th,
email.
yep. So like I said, anyways, that's just something I wanted to let you guys know.
Rick, did they say that the permitting will come out of Boston or Lakeville?
It's probably going to come out of Lakeville now. Yep, it's going to come out of Lakeville. But I think they're still feeling it out, but it was kind of, I'm not sure. It was just like a sudden EPA saying, boop, we're not doing it anymore. There's no more joint permits. And that's what obviously Rockland has. So like I said, I think more information to follow. As soon as I hear something, I will let everyone know where we're at with that. Like I said, Dave responded to me today, and again, he's just waiting to see what the next steps are in that.
Oh, that's a plus plus.
Yes, absolutely, Chuck. So a couple of things. I sent the board and John a letter regarding the current sludge. What's happening is back in, I'll try to sum it up so I'm not long-winded here. Back in the middle of March, we got a phone call from Synagro, and that's where all of our sludge goes to. And they were going to shut down their facility because they have to replace a heat exchanger. And it was like immediately. They, so what happened was they said to me, I had to cut my sludge from down 30%. This was actually, I believe, in April. So Ed and I tried doing what they said. We tried reducing it, and we just got ourselves into more trouble. So in a loophole, what they basically said was, yeah, Rockland, we'll still take your sludge, but unfortunately, the price that you were paying, and like I said, I was paying $111 per wet ton. They immediately went up to $188.50 a ton. So it was, again, Ed and I have been balancing.
Say that again, Rick, what was it?
We were paying $111, and it went up to $188.50, which was a 69% increase. So I reached out to a number of, and it's not just me, a number of Suez. They were cutting, what they were doing, and I hate to say that they would do this, but they were like the little guy, the little Rocklands. I mean, we give them hardly anything in sludge, but they were cutting the little guys out in order to make more room for the big guys. You know, the Brocktons, the Tontons, and facilities along that line. So ultimately, we had no place to go. I called Waste Management, I called Casella, and we called them all, and no one wanted our sludge because the Synagro facility was going down. There's another facility, I think in Fitchburg, shut their burners down. Brockton shut theirs down about 2 years ago, I believe. I mean, it's just becoming a major nightmare what to do with your solids. So like I said, I didn't have a choice. What they ended up doing, guys, they ended up they did the force majeure on us, saying, hey, it's not out of our control. This is the price you're going to have to pay. So we've been paying it, and that memo I sent to you just shows you the difference. And like I said, I'm up front with you guys. My budget amount is $15,640 a month. That's Suez budget. That's what we got to figure out. That makes it work for us. That's the cost. And all of a sudden now, by them going up that crazy amount, we're now spending. And April wasn't bad because I only paid, like I said, instead of having 8 dumpsters, Ed and I only did 5. So it came out to $17,058. In May, we went back to our 8 dumpsters, as we will be in June, and the price, the cost ballooned from our $15,640 to $29,320. And I'm anticipating the same thing for this month because, again, we're putting out 8 sludge dumpsters. And the reason we have to put out 8 is because the summer permit, it's so tight, our permit is so difficult that we have to move solids. We can't leave them, we can't leave them in aeration because if we do, we're going to end up having serious violations. So all I'm asking the board is for approval to basically invoice the town of Brockton for any differences above the $15,640. Right now, we're looking at, for April was $1,418, and for May, it was $13,680. So I'd like to, and like going forward every month, I'd like to.
Excuse me, what was it, 13,000 what?
I'm sorry, Chuck. This last month, it was $13,680. So I'm looking to, I'd like to, the approval of the board, it would be to invoice the town the $15,098 for the past 2 months. And then therefore going forward until this ends, and they told me 5 months. So we basically started in April, May, June, July, and August. And then hopefully by September 1st, we'll be going back to our 111. And then of course, Suez will assume all costs from that point forward.
May I interject? This is not a normal occurrence. It's written in the operations and maintenance contract that we have with Suez, that if there's an unforeseen major event, which it is with Synagro having their heat exchanger. So it's out of Suez's control. If it was just a mistake that they bid it too low, that they didn't do their homework and know what the cost was for sludge, then there'd be another thing. But it's in the contract that we have with them, the operations and maintenance contract. If there is a major event, and I would consider this a major event, that they could be compensated.
I agree completely with John. This is,
Yeah, I agree too.
that's,
I'll make a motion to accept the difference.
wait, before you do that, Ronnie, Rick, if it's 5 months,
5 times 15, that's figure 75,000.
yeah, I know, but I'm saying, they did not give you any inkling of what, like, this is short term, they gave you no.
It is, yeah, what they basically, they're hoping it's gonna be a 5-month project. I mean, they literally got, construction's going on as we speak.
Okay. So I was like, no, I have, okay, yeah, go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, no, I'll make a motion to accept the proposal to fund the difference for the sludge.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, I appreciate that, guys. I know we have a very, very good relationship with the board, and we like to continue that.
Yep.
The next item I would like to discuss was, let's see here, it was the generator. We talked about replacing the Old Country generator back, I think, a couple of months ago, and we were going to try to do it under John's R&M, and we ran out of money. We really didn't have enough. So I'm looking now, with July 1st coming aboard, I'd like to go ahead with that project. And again, looking for the board, the total price will be $37,910.90. What I'm looking for from the board is to get a purchase order from the town to give to Suez. Suez will will follow this procedure, this project till the end. Part of that project will be, well, like I said, that'll be the new generator, everything, new generator. I'm trying to think, lost my words. So anyways, the prices, I think I sent it to you guys, but the prices range anywhere from $37,910 all the way up to $47,000, almost $48,000. And we went with Highland Power, who we're very familiar with, and we know their work is very, very thorough. So again, and the other reason being that Suez will handle this project. It'll actually help Dave too, that we can do this. One of the things, and I know it becomes an issue with municipalities, and before I can get this project off the ground, that's why I need the purchase order from the town. They want $15,483 up front. Now, with you guys giving me the PO, Suez has the funding. We can write them a check for that. Get this process going, because we're talking probably 6 to 8 weeks, and then we can get moving on this thing. Hopefully by end of August, maybe beginning of September, we'll have a brand new generator at Old Country Way.
Can I ask you a question on the current generator?
Absolutely.
Is there any way that could be refurbished and used at the highway department or anywhere else, the fire department?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All it is John knows, it's a backup that we've had at the facility for a number of years with very low run hours.
Oh, no, that backup, we're going to keep that.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I didn't know if he was going to scrap it or what.
Oh, no.
Are you referencing the existing generator, not the portable that we have out there right now? You're referencing the one that we're replacing, Chuck?
Yeah. Can we refurbish that so we got a sound backup generator, to rely on? Or is it hit and miss?
I think if it was cost effective to reuse that one, it's probably the route we would have taken. After multiple repairs on that generator, that's when we hit the point that we decided that's where we come to the agreement to replace it.
Oh, no,
I spent a lot of money repairing it already. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think that the value would be there to reuse it, but unless, if Dave wants it down, maybe he can use it for parts. But the motor itself has significant damage to it.
No, like I said, I'm a scrounger. I didn't know if it's something we could cannibalize and use down the road, or if Dave could use down the highway department or even the fire department.
Absolutely, and I would just say that part of the proposal that Rick discussed is when we bid that out was for them to remove the existing generator as well. So if the town does decide that they may want to hold on to it and maybe store it off-site somewhere, that we'll have to know before we begin the project so that we can keep them from disposing of it.
All right. Well, like I said, I just wanted to ask that.
Yep, that's correct. Thanks, Ed. Let's see. The second item, that's my second item, the sludge. The first item was generator. So again, do I have the board's approval to proceed with this with, I guess it would be Dave writing out the, giving the Suez the purchase order? Do you have the approval? Like I said, I want to get this thing going next week.
Yeah, I make a motion to,
John up till next week.
Yeah, I'll write the purchase order to get it started.
Excellent, John. Thank you.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. The next item, the digester. I know you had talked about it earlier, Chuck. Ed, I'm gonna let you take this because since you've been really working on this for quite a few months.
Sure. So as you guys know, I believe you voted on the proposal with Hallam ICS to begin doing the technical specs for the replacement of the digester boiler. We've moved forward with that agreement. I've begun sending them data and sending them blueprints as of this week. But the one thing that we need to kind of figure out is that after they write the technical specs, we still need to get the town's portion of the bid proposal together to advertise and then hold the meeting at the plant to move forward with the project. So Hallam will be writing the technical portion, but the remaining part of the bid will have to be, for the town's behalf, still has to be written. And that's something John normally would have done, but with him coming to the end of the road here, we're gonna need somebody else to take on that role.
Well, that's probably something that Dave could do and I could work with him on it.
Right. It'd be a good opportunity for you, Dave, to come in and begin working on something with us.
Good.
So just a little clarity on what Dave's role is going to be. Dave plans on being at the plant on a daily basis. He's not just there for emergency coverage.
Right.
It's misconstrued. Dave will be at the plant. He's not restricted to hours, but he will be there daily.
Very good.
So the way that the schedule is set right now, Hallam, the schedule got thrown off a little bit because of getting some of the details in the contract signed. So it's not exact as to what originally was, but I believe that we're looking at most likely having the bid meeting late August, early September. So that's, we should try to have, I personally would like to have the town's portion of the bid all set to go. So that way when we receive the technical specs from Hallam, we can just slip them right together and then we can, within a week or so, get it out and get it moving.
Do you have a scope of work now?
Say it again, Chuck.
You have an engineering scope now, what you're looking for, a spec sheet?
No, that's what the Hallam is doing for us. We contracted with them to write the engineering specs. Okay. And I'm just putting it out there. I want to make sure that when we receive the specs from them, the technical specs, the technical portion, the engineering portion, right, that we're not waiting for another 4 weeks or so to get the town's portion. Also, I know it's pretty much boilerplate, John.
It is. That's boilerplate. That's all. That's the missing ingredient is the specs from Hallam.
Okay.
We can just cut and paste and put that right in there and it'll be perfect.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you guys were notified, so that I want to try to move this project as quickly as possible. If we can get it done early fall as opposed to, dead of winter.
When is Hallam going to have their specs written, do you know?
So the original date was end of August, first week of September. Hold on, I can pull it up right here. They originally had us issuing the bid documents August 21st. Now we're already like 2 weeks behind because, like I said, some of the issues with getting the contract signed. So that moves us really to like the first couple of weeks of September.
What's this COVID thing got to do to your schedule?
It shouldn't affect us. I sent out Hallam our policy on the COVID stuff at the facility, and we just gave them visitations. They will make at least one site visit before they finish writing the specs. Tomorrow I'll be going to the post office. I asked John for some permission yesterday to mail out some of the blueprints we did not digitally, so that they can use those working on their specs. But as long as we're going to maintain social distance in that facility, so we can hold meetings with them still. Everybody will still be wearing face masks, and we'll be doing temperature checks as they enter the facility, as we have been doing with all contractors and visitors. But the goal here is to move forward with this project as quickly as possible. Rick and I still have to get look into getting some quotes for like a trailer heating unit. and maybe Dave, this may be something you may be familiar with that we could use your assistance with as well. So we can have a trailer heating unit on site so that we could get this project done through the winter without having to wait till the following spring to get it installed.
Okay. Do you have any scope of what the cost is on the trailer unit at
No,
all?
that's what we need to look at. That's what we need to look into. But that'll allow us to do the install regardless of what the temperature is outside, and we won't affect the process of the digester at all. Otherwise, we'd have to wait until next, say May or June, at which case we would have already purchased the equipment this fall, and now we're sitting on it for another 6 months. And I'd rather get it in, get it up and running, and run it when we need it during the winter, make sure it works as we intended to.
Okay. Is that a heating unit? Is that a temporary thing, or is that something that we're gonna use on something that we need to have readily handy at all times?
The temporary unit? No, that would just be something that we would just look to rent. We rented like a portable propane unit, but that was just for heat inside the building. So it's gonna have to be like a hot water system that we can just tie into our existing, the existing lines, the water lines that we have now. I've seen them before. I'm not sure of who rents them out. So we'll be able to find one. It's just a matter of cost, and then we can go from there. And we'll have to discuss it with the town before we obviously purchase it, because it's going to be probably a significant rental fee.
All right.
And that's all I have on that on the boiler.
Thanks, Ed. The only other things I have, our flow, like I said, we kind of discussed that. Ed already discussed that with a flow of 3.1, and Chuck, you're right. Right now we're at 2.0, but we've had no rain. So it's going to be nice not to report an exceedance for the month of
I'll
June.
say that again, we're at 2.0 for the month, correct?
For the month, the daily monthly average, John.
Just want to
Yeah, but-
understand.
Yep, but obviously we haven't had minuscule rain for the whole month. But it's
What was
nice.
our low
like
last year? We were down to 0.8.
No,
Um,
didn't we?
Ed, do you know that off the top of your head?
I think
I
it was
know,
the
I know we've
lows-
had
the
some
lows of the-
1.7s.
No,
Hey, you look-
not talking about monthly, I'm talking about the lows for the evening.
You're looking for which period, John?
Last year's summer months, 0.8.
That would be in last year's annual
Yeah, no, okay,
report.
not that important. I just,
Okay, yeah, but if that number is available, I put that number in the annual report. I do the, each month I do the daily min
no, I
and max.
understand.
I think it was like 1.7, 1.9.
Well, I can tell you right now what the, hold on one second.
I thought it was below 1. But maybe I'm wrong.
All right, so for May, the highest peak flow was 4.2, and the lowest daily flow was 2.3. But you're right, John, that's not the peak flow. I'm not putting that in the monthly report. Do you guys want that in the monthly report?
No. That's one of my curiosity things.
Okay. Because that's something I can easily add the lowest minimum flow, daily flow. I put the highest peak, but I'll put it in anyway, regardless. I'll start putting it in.
All right. Just gives you an idea of if the water department sells X amount of gallons and what we're really getting, what we're using at night, what is infiltration.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I will add that number for sure.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's all I have, gentlemen. No personnel issues to report right now in Suez. Like Ed said before, we're following the COVID-19 Suez protocol. We're starting to have some visitors come, but nothing. We're still not allowing any salesmen. We're still keeping the doors locked. Everybody's still doing social distancing, wearing masks, and all that stuff until the governor says it's safe, to remove them to go forward. But other than that, like I said, no, all staff is reporting to work other than vacations, and everyone's upbeat right now. We're actually looking forward, to getting the comprehensive wastewater plan done. I mean, it's been a lot of guys have been there a lot of years, as you all know. And I think once we see the engineers from Wright Pierce coming in, I think you're going to see an attitude change by the guys, because now they're going to say, geez, we're finally doing it, And again, I'd like to thank the board for this, for going forward this. That's all I have as far as Suez.
I think there's only one other agenda item, if I'm correct, and it was to review last month's minutes of the meeting. Robin had did a draft, sent it to Chuck. Chuck did some editing. And so we just want to review to make sure everyone's on board as to what those edits are. The intent of the minutes is not to write a novel. The intent is to get it, to have bullets and go by each bullet. So let's just see if we can work through this and come to agreement on what should stay and what doesn't stay. Everyone agree? Does everyone have a copy of the minutes with the red highlights?
My comment to the red.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just go through them. So this first one, Chuck, on the, since we, on page 2 rather. We
Yeah,
have
that.
written application.
You clarified already. There wasn't one on the residential.
Okay, very good. So that's,
Because the ordinance referred to something. But
right, that was more for industrial pretreatment program. That was
right,
those
I'm gonna
applications.
create one for residential.
Right. And you were still gonna work on the Form 4 residential.
Yeah.
The application, correct?
Want to scratch out that record dry fall. I think we all know that.
Okay,
Page 3. I would scratch that 0 Confon Street. We rectified that. I think the comment that Ronnie made that we should just vote to cancel the moratorium and the discussion that it was a corrective action, I think that's important. I think that's got to stay in. It was stated. And we clarified it that it was a corrective action. We discussed the discussion of the 90 unit cap that's staying in. John clarified the waste profile is not needed. The water under the bridge freeze, that just, I don't agree with that, but you want to scratch that, I'll accept it.
what was that?
To me, when it was about the fees not going up since 2005, I think that's abhorrent. I think it's absolutely beyond explanation of why. And I didn't like this saying with water under the bridge. That's lost revenue. That's big time lost revenue.
Well, the way it was intended to be understood, it was, let's move forward.
I understand where you're coming from.
Let's move
I
forward.
went back and checked my notes and I had corrected that, but you know, you guys have to, and I know you're all smart enough. 2005 with no fee increase is just unexplainable. I think I was misquoted as grandfathered. I didn't mean to use, I don't think I used grandfathered. What I was saying is the extra capacity. I think when we look at developments, we've got to look at uptown. We don't want vacant lots up there. We have to keep Pond Street and Howard Street in the back of our minds because Jennifer said that's potential 40B. I mean, if we're,
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't want a ghost town uptown anymore.
Well, the thing is, we don't have a sewer bank. I agree with you by saying that you don't want empty lots uptown. I would feel the same way, but not having a sewer bank, you can't assign particular gallonage.
I understand that, but what I'm not saying is sewer bank. What I'm saying is in our decision making,
Okay, that's
randomly approving units. Just keep that in the back of our minds that, you know, she said it's coming up. I think there is one supposedly scheduled to come up for a hearing later on this year. So other than that, I have no problem with the minutes.
Okay, make a motion to approve the minutes of the May meeting.
I agree.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're not gonna go through any of the other red stuff. We're just gonna strike
No,
that.
let it go. My opinion, that's been accepted. In other business I had put on the agenda is that I think all the commissioners should attend those kickoff meetings that are coming up with Wright Pierce because it's going to need, you guys are going to have to pitch in and help on it. I mean, it's going to be a ton of work. A ton of work. The other thing too is on the bylaws, in July, it calls for an election of a new chairman of the board. And I don't think we should go through it now, but I think we should go through, at least have an election next month. I'm going to put my name in it. And all I want to do is I want to go what my concerns have been the past 15 years, if you want, going back where I think money's been wasted and not capitalized and not looked at. And I blame that solely on the board. And you guys were members and you didn't pay attention to detail. But we can go through that election process next month on open record. So I'm going to state why. Walter, I hope you state your reasons why you should stay. And the vote goes. But I know how the vote will go, but I am going to state my reasons why. For the record. So other than that, that's all I have to say.
Anybody else have anything?
No.
No.
I
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.